Hi guys, welcome back. So, in this video, I'm gonna first talk about the market today because previously I did my prediction on the Chinese stock market and I was asked about the divergence between the US and Chinese stocks, how they would perform differently. So that would be the part 1, and on the second part I will do the highlights about the webinar from LKCO today. Few of my Discord members asked about this, so that is the video highlight. So this morning the pre-market was pretty scary today because we thought that last week was a big fall and expected this week to have some rebound. But then last night the Hang Seng Index was having a bloodbath, dropping 1,120 points. Very serious drop, almost like a free fall with huge spike of volume too compared to normally. The A-share and the Chinex was not as bad, dropping 2.8%. This would represent the small to medium caps. The Chinex was falling hard too, but it's not as dramatic as the Hang Seng Index. Same thing with the A-share. It's more mild already compared to the Hang Seng Index disaster. At least you can see there is buying the dip action. Last week on July 22nd, I had called out an alert for the Chinex having a pullback correction because it had reached the 52-week high and with the biggest sell volume. So I was worried that we are entering into a correction. July 22nd was on this day, and you can see the correction really came right after, falling quite strong, but nothing as dramatic as the Hang Seng Index. Really, there was no buying the dip action with massive sell-off. You can see this is really panic selling, cutting loss. Doesn't matter what cause it is, because you look at what fall mostly is the tech sector. The Hang Seng Tech Index fell 6.3%. Very dramatic. Get down and continue going down with no sign of rebound. Biggest fall we have seen for a long time. Look at all the hot stocks, the mega cap stocks that usually we would think it's the safest to invest in. For example, Alibaba, Tencent, Meituan, Baidu, Bilibili. Everything just went like a free fall. Tencent dropped 7.7%. That is a huge dip because it is the first heaviest weight position in the index. So imagine Apple dropping 7%. This is like going back to COVID. Back in last year, February, March 2.0 crash was very dramatic. Baba was already the least out of the devil because it's not yet making a new low, because there is rumor about Alibaba and Tencent opening their platform for each other to cancel the monopoly system of choose one between the two. And most people would consider it's more beneficiary for Alibaba than Tencent. Meituan dropped 13% because of more regulations coming out about the takeout platform. The market cap of Meituan just reduced 200 billion yuan in one day. And if you look at the selling for Tencent, the ones that sell mostly would be foreign investment institutions, mostly in US, some are in Europe. Swiss Bank, Morgan Stanley, Deutsche Bank, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America. And for Alibaba, similar, Swiss Bank, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America. And on the other hand, the ones who bought the dip would be Futu, China Investment, Bank of China, HSBC, most of the Chinese institutions buying the dips. So I've been saying for several weeks already that I think we are going through a transition period of pressing down the index. Foreign investment companies are leaving while the Chinese investments are taking more position in it. So I expected this to be a way for the government to minimize the risk for political issues, to have less holdings for the mega caps that is influential for the indexes to be Americans or foreign investments. Less foreign investments, more domestic investments to be more balanced, so then the financial risk driven by politics can be minimized. One thing to notice is that even though the mega cap dropped like waterfall today, the thing is the small caps or medium caps didn't really fall that much. Just imagine last year during the COVID when all the mega caps were falling so hard, the smaller caps were just falling exponentially. If Apple falls 7%, expect the smaller tech company to fall at least 15 to 20%, right? But this is the exact opposite this time. NIO is holding strong, dropping 1%, EH dropping 0.5%, LKCO close flat, and ZEP is actually gaining near 3%. They are holding quite strong. Why is that? So I have my reasons to believe that this is really the institutions trying to create more panic in the market, more scary sentiments towards the Chinese stocks and Chinese stock market and the Hang Seng Index especially, because the Hang Seng Index has mostly US investments or foreign investment before. So it just enhanced my belief that it is the process or transition to make things look dead, put things in panic mode, so more foreign investment sell out and the Chinese investment companies would swoop in. As I have shown the quote many times, put it to death and live after. Were we dead yet? No, I didn't think so. And did we have enough panic? Maybe not enough. And it won't rise until you feel absolutely desperate. So that is why in my last week's video, I drew this prediction for the Hang Seng Index when it was 27,300 for it to have another sharp dip and then slowly climb back up. So this dip would be what I might consider a golden dip. And at what level? I would think it's at the 25,000 level. And today we had reached the 26,100, so a few hundred to 1,000 points away. Nasdaq had been growing on fire recently and just made an all-time high today and reached 15,000 already. Seems like it had nothing to do with the Chinese stocks, because I think the Chinese government really wants the Chinese market to be more independent from the US market, to be more detached. But does that mean when Nasdaq and S&P 500 gets into correction that it won't affect the Chinese stocks? Maybe not that ideal. I think it was still affected somehow. So I think I will see the Hang Seng Index dipping more, ideally to the level of 25,000, and then bounce off from there. And when the US market is in correction phase, it would come down with the correction of Nasdaq and S&P. So our stock would dip more, but may not make lower lows than the previous low. And I would expect them to be earlier to rebound from there before the US index reach the bottom. That is my prediction for now. So I do think the US market would affect the Hong Kong and Chinese market at the beginning of the correction, but later on, I will see the Chinese stocks outperforming the US ones, because I would expect the transition from the US to Chinese institutions holding more of the important place, the mega cap, would be near the end. Things are dead, so they can start to live. And this period of time, I would think it's more likely to happen from somewhere between August to October, because during that time, we would have a lot of the earnings from the Chinese stocks. Some of them give 6 months earning instead of a quarter earning, because they don't have to give quarter earning, right? And we just know that LKCO would be giving out their earning in August, and I would expect Luckin to give the earning somewhere around that time. And as you know, I'm optimistic about EH getting the certificates at that time, somewhere around September. So then we have a lot of good news accumulated for our stocks. A lot of Chinese stocks might announce good news. It's possible that they're not announcing any good news for now, but saving it to announce all together later. And by that time, it would be also around or before the National Day for China, which is October 1st every year. So usually the stock market in China would not be so bad. So that was my prediction on the Chinese stock market compared to the US stock market performance. And I can give you another idea to know more precisely the timing. It is to look at my videos comments below to see the sentiments around Chinese stocks. I told you before, usually when the sentiments accumulated to be so bad, you see so many comments yelling under my channel, then you would know that we might be near the end of the worst moment, because this is usually when people cannot take it anymore, and this is moments like this that I would feel like it might just be the golden dip, because it might turn out to be the biggest return on investment. That is an idea for you. Now, let's talk about the LKCO webinar. So today there was the webinar from Locam Technology. It was kind of an investor presentation to explain their autonomous technology and other development the company is breaking through or working on. I have to say that I think our Discord members have done a very good job highlighting the key essentials to share on Discord and also asking some good questions. So we have got some answers we have been looking for, but I would also take the chance to share my opinions too. We have covered a lot of the technology introduction from LKCO in my previous videos in this channel, but today they have also introduced some recent updates on what they have been working on. For example, the smart maintenance, which is a way for them to help the government maintain the road condition. They kind of change the traditional way into more a smarter way. They would use electronic device like drone or survey vehicle to scan the road, and because the vehicles would constantly drive on the road and detect those objects or potential damage, and because of the fast communication between vehicles and the road, they can help remove these obstacles as fast as possible to ensure more safety for the road condition. So that is one of the projects they are introducing to many local governments. They introduced the far field milliliter radar technology to be able to detect kind of 10 times farther than the competitor. This would be the examples for the specs they're giving out more in detail. They have reinforced their partnership with some important parties inside and outside of China. But also one important thing to know is that when they were asked which is the biggest manufacturer they're working with, they cannot disclose that. So it's very possible that back in a few weeks ago when they announced to have established a new cooperation with a top-tier manufacturer, that would be the one that they cannot disclose. That happened to be the biggest partnership. I thought back then it would be NIO, but maybe it might be someone bigger than NIO, so we'll see. They might announce it when things goes more mature, so then they are allowed to do that. What is very much exciting for us all investors would be to see the revenue projection from the company, and it is very, very bullish. So in 2020, the revenue of 18.3 million, and it would get 5x in 2021. So it's up 400% plus. And the company seems to be very confident they can achieve it, if not beating the expectation on top of that. So it tells us that just for the first half of 2021, they have done quite good progress towards this projection already. So they see no trouble to achieve this goal, if not exceeding it. So this is quite a good news, quite exciting for us. With the market cap of around 500 million right now, they would be currently trading at a PS ratio of around 28, and for 2021 the PS ratio would be around 5, so significantly lower the valuation of the company already. And for 2022 is US dollar 250 million, so 150% gain from this year. But because they have been introducing more revenue streams, because the technology evolves and there will be more demand appearing because the technology is ready. So I see the source of income being more and more diversified. Because if you remember what I described about the smart city, the key elements I have mapped out, and all of them connecting with each other, with the core technology in the middle, allowing all the communications between different systems and also processing the data in order to make fast decisions. And Locam technology would be contributing into the technology in between. So I think the applications would be more and more later on, depending on the infrastructure built from the government. And the parallel technology would create more demand. So I see the possibility that they might increase the revenue projection later for the future years when we see more applications. Maybe I am quite bullish on this, but still, if they can take full advantage of their current status situation and to be one of the first few companies in this field and the speed of the growth in this industry, I think they can continue to take advantage with the moat they just described. But the thing is, they are also raising with time. A lot of new players are entering the field, catching up. They are really also facing challenges from many different parties, big and small, the BAT and also the small new players as well. So I think it's very important time for LKCO to seize this opportunity of the evolving of many things and how the government pays so much attention to this field right now. Take advantage of this and run on full turbo. Because in the future, there will be so much more needs to connect with this, more connection with the Internet of Things, smart home, wearable device, smart health, smart agriculture. When they were asked whether they would release another share offering in the near future, the answer would be depending on the share price. And I made this prediction before. I think they might do more share offering at the price of around 3 to 6, because I think at this price below 3, they're not interested, because first of all, they had enough cash to fuel for another 12 months at least. And secondly, because they're not happy about the current price. They don't think their company should be worth only at this level. It's kind of what I thought before, because I think they had to release the share offering at 2 because they were in an urgency to finish the acquisition with Imago, because it's quite a strategic acquisition. So they were willing to lower their ask in order to complete this acquisition. So that's why I don't think they would release more share at this point, this price level. From what the company could disclose today, it did seem like they are working with many different partners, new partners, and maybe too big to be disclosed. And also they are working with not only the car manufacturers, which is the B2B business, but also the B2G business at the same time. I would say this is equally important because they do interconnect. Because I do think they would have a lot of the projects working for the government, like what we knew from last month, the smart highway project or smart road. They also covered this in the presentation today, because autonomous drive would need the work on both sides, both directions, to ensure the safety level. The communication between the road and the vehicles would be crucial in order to make smart decisions. And also on top of that, they have also cleared out the delay from the COVID-19 for about 5 months of the company's progress. But right now they are back on track. Very good to hear, of course. So, mostly good news today. Very happy to hear the presentation, and good to know that the company is working towards what we expect them to be, because we all have very high expectations on LKCO. It is like one of our babies. We will watch it to grow if things turn out smoothly as we imagine. Lastly, they were not having any plan on a secondary listing on the Hong Kong market. On the downside, it's not giving us investors an extra insurance on the political issue, but on the good side, it means the company is not worried at all about the government crackdown or the potential delisting concerns. So good and bad. At last, maybe we can mention a little bit about the crypto related stocks today because of the strong rebound from Bitcoin. NCTY had a crazy run up of 54%, CAN near 16%, and SOS 22%. Aftermarket falling back down. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. But in the last week, I have on a few dips because of the B-word events. That was last Tuesday. I thought it would be a good catalyst for Bitcoin to rebound and the crypto related stocks. So on a horrible day like today, when most of the Chinese stocks crash like free fall, at least we are having some hedge in our portfolio that is saving the day. Okay, now that's it for today. And if you have enjoyed this video, please give me a big like and write me a great comment. And I'll see you in my next video. That's it, guys. Hope you can find my videos helpful. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and give me a big like. Thank you.